There we go. Okay. So welcome to Restorative Parenting class. It's an ongoing training class. And today's topic is anatomy of the mind. And the agenda is basically to talk about the time of it's a time of remembrance. We're going to talk about your 12 faculties. There are 12 senses. And let's see, we're going to work on the brain patterns, anatomy of the brain, stilling the brain chatter, vibrational sound, the 4 elements that make up humanity. We're going to talk about the love ratio and the rainbow round table. And then next week, we're going to talk about the 7 rays of creation and the prophecy of union. And we'll have Q&A. We'll end with Q&A. So that's what we will be talking about this evening. So the first slide set here is the time for renewal. Emotional clearing is vital. If you have been feeling emotional conflict with your choice points, meaning confidence is marginal and at times you feel confused, you're confusable, you stepped into the threshold of awakening at the 4th dimension. The density has accelerated from what you are used to, yet the backdrop looks the same. It is, in a sense, the same. It is you that is at a critical point, a choice point, to either make the same choice you usually make or choose differently. To coin a phrase, been there, done that. Simply put, truth is whispering to you. Living in truth is becoming a living embodiment of love, which is truth incarnate. This is the renewal the angels are speaking of. You must enter the secret chamber through your internal compass, which activates your DNA and links you to your light body. The time for remembrance is now. The time for renewal is now. The global village has fallen from the grace of peace, not from natural disaster. The fall came from the creators of fear to alter your destiny as followers instead of individual creators of life. In the one, for the one, by the one, the prime creative force, which we are and have come to represent in human form. Hu is the call to the divine, and man is the form that we chose. So here, what we're saying is that you have a choice point in every moment. We came here with free will, and as free will, we make a choice in every moment. So if you don't like what's going on in your life, then you can choose again. So we have that freedom. That is one freedom that can never be taken from us. And we have that ability. If you choose to follow along with the masses, then that's your prerogative. Also, to not choose is to choose. If you don't choose, if you don't vote, then you've got to live with the consequences of the masses. So be aware of that. It's important for you to use your voice and to use your choice point. So let me go on to the next one. I hope it loads quickly. Okay. The new earth is present. It is now in every moment. And humanity is at the threshold and a cusp of tremendous shifts within our global villages. The first shift is required within our heart centers. To follow the heart means that we live in truth. To live in truth, one must have faith. To have faith requires tapping into our golden compass of power, our internal power. Now, we have 12 senses, not just the 5 senses that we've been told. There are 7 more aligned with our hairline right here, with our face, in addition to the 5 that we know about. And the 5 are located in the back of the head on the nape. Together, they're called the crown of glory. So here they are. There are 12 faculties and senses. Now, these ones we all know about back here. These 5 physical senses are hearing, smelling, feeling, tasting, and seeing. So they're all right here. And this is how they're aligned on the back of our head. And that goes from left to right. The feeling one is right in the center. These 5 physical senses are natural laws. Now we have 5 more up here that we may or may not be aware of. And again, this goes from the right to the left. So inspiration is right above the ear, or right right above the ear. This one's on the temple. This one is your intuition. And this is memory. Right in the center of your head, right here, nose alignment. This is love, wisdom, inspiration, and reason. Now, these are the 7. This is called the crown of glory, the crown of glory. And they are aligned with a color. So inspiration is red, intuition yellow, memory green, love is purple, wisdom is indigo, inspiration is blue, and a reason is gold. So they do align with the chakras. They align with the chakras of the earth, these 7. Use your internal compass for truthful navigation. If you hold on to the 5 external senses to navigate, you'll surely fall into the trap of the Black Alliance. Those are the founders of fear. If you are the only one to help yourself, you are the only one to help yourself. You cannot depend on anybody but yourself. The survival of the human race depends on our continuity of truth. So we have to get to the truth. Within truth is the essence of love. Well, truth is the essence, but once you get to truth, you return to love. You return to the to God and to the still point, or not the still point, but the you return to God. Once you initiate your eternal chamber, you'll automatically move to the chamber of truth, the 5th dimension of your embodiment. Now, the 5th dimension is the throat center. This is the chamber of your throat center, which automatically connects to your zeal point, the medulla oblongata, which our passion resides, which is often called the mouth of God. When you reach this point, the center of Satya, which is the center of truth, nothing but truth can come forward. So it is called the mouth of God. We have come to represent the truth. We have come to represent He who sent us, or it, or that, or which, whatever this light is, this divine being that sent us. And we can only speak the truth because we are that truth. So the 7 facial senses align with your central nervous system and the cosmos. So these align with our spine, our central nervous system, all the way up to the cosmos. And that's why they call it the crown of glory. There's a white shaft of light that comes straight down, and it's called the hierarchy of order. And so when you do Reiki, that energy is coming right through the center of your head and the love frequency, and it just feeds you with light and energy. So the time for renewal, we're still talking about renewing, and we're going into the chambers of our head, because we have to understand how our thought patterns affect our responses that we make and our contributions that we make to the earth, to our world, to our family, and to our friends. The topic tonight is to understand your 7 sensory factors or vibrational frequencies. Our physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual bodies are made up of the multitude of atoms. Each atom consists of a central core of fire, around which a series of electrons move in ordered precision, just as the planets move around the sun. The spinning of the atoms within our orbit, which is our body, determines our level of awakeness, so how fast they spin. The human body frequency resonates at 62 to 72 megahertz to sustain our health. Anything below that may cause us to feel out of balance, or we have blockages within our body. There is no sound without vibration. Anything that has mass can vibrate. This includes anything from our planet to the smallest particle. When we begin to awaken in our own time and readiness, we'll know, because we will no longer be affiliated with what can I get, rather, how can I serve? Anger no longer dances within our vibration. Rather, we become the great observer, where we begin to automatically hold the space for others who have not yet reached this potential to engage in their spiritual body for clearing purposes. When we begin to awaken, we begin to look around and see everybody differently. You see those that are also observing. You begin to see auras, or you are more empathic. You feel it. You're drawn to different things. So you're beginning to awaken, and you recognize others who are also observers, who are also awakening. And your whole energy shifts to a higher vibration. Your vibratory frequencies must change in order to make a quantum leap into higher consciousness. And I'm not saying, boom, you make a quantum leap to the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th dimension. It's gradual. It's like it's baby steps. You feel it slowly. It's not bam. You automatically feel very different, because you make a difference in your meditation, and then when you come out of it, you step back and you live your life. But then when you go into your meditation again, it takes a while to get back to where you were, and then you go up a little bit more. So it's a gradual process, but the body and the cells have memory, so it will remember. So these are the 5 types of brain waves. We have alpha, which is a relaxed, alert state. Delta, it's a deep sleep. Beta, highly alert. Theta, you're drowsy, and gamma is a peaked concentration. This is God particle, basically. You're everywhere, you're everything, you're a pulsation in the universe. So we're going to get back to this, but this is getting into awakening, and your consciousness is beginning to be everything and see everything. Let's get to this one. So now we're going to brain patterns. Sound can create new neurostructures and patterns in the brain to become quiet. Mind chatter are stresses in the nervous system being released. So when you hear those thoughts, they're stresses in the nervous system being released. Focus changes the brainwave pattern. So when you turn and you're focused on something, you're trying to see, what is that? I can't quite see what that is. Then you're focused, and it changes the brainwave patterns so that you can focus. Lower carrier frequencies has more impact on your brain and create new neurostructures, giving your brain a stimulus to respond in different ways. For example, we respond different in worry, stress, doubt, pain, fight or flight, different things like that. And we respond in different ways, and we're conditioned to respond in different ways because, like I said just moments ago, the cells and the body has memory. So once it has had that experience, it will pull back that experience and it'll give you a head start the next time. If stresses bubble up, don't judge them. Become the witness. That's the observer. Be curious and begin to learn more about your stress structures being stimulated. Do I want to run this time? Do I want to hide? Or do I want to face that fear? Did I learn something from it the last time that I'm strong enough to face it this time? You're not going to treat me like that again. Or telling the teacher, please don't embarrass me in front of the class, or whatever it might be. Did you learn a lesson the last time that you found the courage this time to go forward instead of staying in that consciousness of conditioning? Are you going to move forward? You're going to release some of the fear and move forward, push forward. Some neurochemicals may put you to sleep to deal with stresses in your own way. This is PTSD. This is people that have been really traumatized, babies that have come into the world in a shocked manner. There are brain patterns that need to be dealt with, and they need loving conditioning to help them to overcome those traumas, and to get new neuropaths and neuro patterns to overcome those old patterns. The more you use these patterns, those patterns will fall away. So we want to develop newer patterns so that the old ones will no longer be your body experience. Let's see. So these are, again, information about your brain thoughts. When you become the observer, you emotionally and mentally disengage from other beliefs. So your old conditioned mind patterns begin to go away. Once you become the observer, I no longer believe in that. You still the mind's chatter while stepping into stillness. Now, stillness is the altar to the divine, to God. When you still your mind's chatter, you step into stillness. And you can use words, find a word for you that works for you. I used to say, again, or next, were my words that I used. I had a stroke and had to learn walk, talk, eat, write, read, everything all over again. But when I started getting brain chatter, because I was trying to learn everything, it was easy because I was a magnet, to a sponge to learn everything again because everything was new. I had to stop the brain chatter, so they taught me to find holding words, words that made a pause. And so I did, and it did help. Mine was next. So find some pausing words for you when you become the observer, and notice there's a bunch of chatter going on in your head. It's called chitta in Sanskrit, or yoga, chitta. In some of my classes, people would say, I'm stopping the chit. Yeah, okay, so you can stop the chitta. So you want to stop that brain chatter, stilling the mind's chatter while stepping into stillness. And no one can attack the real you. They can only shadow box with their own projections, and you can remain in the light. So you just, again, watch them, and that's their own fear-based reality projecting out to you. And we bless them. We just bless them. We don't want to engage in their fear at all. You just bless them. So at a minimum, we have 90,000 thoughts a day. Some people have more thoughts than that. This is due to mind control or mind conditioning. Some of those mind conditioning things that we've all heard about is the MK Ultra, the CIA mind control, neurolinguistics. They had a center, and maybe they still do, in San Francisco years ago that I heard of. And Evelyn Wood, she was famous in the 1950s, 60s, I think, and 70s even, for speed reading. And these all proved to be faulty in their own ways. So those are just some that I'm talking about. There are many more. I had some notes. I don't have them in front of me, but there were other sources. Maybe I put them on the other slide. Let's see. Well, I didn't, but there were other sources that people got caught up in, and they were faulty as well. So here are some more brain thought things of conditioned mind patterns. In corporate and introduced, and this is in the 80s for me, maybe it was 70s, late 70s, 80s. The terminology in the corporate America, brainstorming, multitasking, mind mapping. And then if you did too many things and you contributed all the time, they would say, don't boil the ocean all at once. And you knew that, you had too many things going on. And they would say, just focus on maybe 5 of them right now and leave the other 5 for another day. That's what they meant by don't boil the ocean. So anyway, the brainstorming, multitasking, mind mapping, they wanted to keep your mind busy. And where does it go? Right to the reptilian brain, right? This is where they wanted to keep us busy, conditioned, doing instead of being. Look at all these little faces, whoa, I got lots of things going on. If you have that much going on, where do you have time for serenity, for peace, for renewal, for, just rejuvenating yourself, for coming into the new brain, which is the outside here, so that you can make new neural pathways here, so you can think more on the outside and not go to the conditioned mind patterns in the middle of your brain. Anyway, when brainstorming and multitasking, these types of symptoms can occur. You get hypertension, this is increased blood pressure, and this is while you're doing it with your colleagues. Let's just say, you've gone off into little groups. Hypertension, increased blood pressure, tachycardia, the abnormality in rapid heartbeat, trachepnea, I don't think I said that right. The abnormality, rapid breathing, dystopia, state of abnormal muscle tone. So you're getting really tense up. Hyperthermia, your high blood temperature of the central organ. Posturing, this is the stiffness, the body positioning. You're getting really nervous. And then dysphoresis, this is excessive degree of sweating. So all of these body things are happening in you. And in my picture here, you'll let's see, can I get rid of this? I'm talking. Can I move this? Yeah, I'm gonna move this. You can see here that these areas are going, your pupils are dilating, your stimulus, you're getting a lot of saliva in your throat. You may be, your heart's really beating fast, but up here, lots of things are going on here in the facial area. And then you got the things going on in your heart. You got the stimulus going on in your liver and your stomach and your gallbladder, and all of this stuff is happening here in your body while you're doing this stuff here. So this is the parasympathetic system, and this is the sympathetic system. That's all being affected while you're brainstorming, multitasking, mind mapping, and doing all of that. Now, I guess if you were anything like me in corporate America, I thought I was cool because I could multitask and go home and multitask. But you know what? I was breaking my body down when I was doing that. So I just wanted to share that with you, because the objective is for us to go to a place of peace in our body, in our mind, and still the brain chatter so that we can be peaceful beings, loving beings on the planet, sharing that with each other. So that's what that's where we want to go. Okay, so I went down too far, didn't I? Yeah. Okay, we were here. So we want to go to the anatomy of the mind. Now, I don't expect you to read this. It's just too much going on here. And this is our consciousness, our subconsciousness, our unconscious mind. Always busy, always on. But if we meditate, there are things that we can do so that we can stop that brain chatter. And that's the reason I put this here. I wanted you to see all the stuff that's going on, and excuse me, I had to take a drink of water. All the stuff that's going on in these little circles here are meditating and keeping a balance. So the next one, where did I go? The next one here is meditation. Now, I put the model back here. This is the model of the anatomy of the mind. Meditation gives you access to your mind's most powerful layers. The mind's most powerful layers. And I took the information from in here, broke it down over here. But what I want you to know is that when you meditate, and even though you're doing mind mapping and multitasking and everything, if you take time out of your day to do a little meditation, you can still do that stuff and then rejuvenate your body. So I put the little a model of the 5 types of brainwaves here, but I also wanted to let you know that where the conscious mind is over here, and then what that says. So beta, this is the conscious mind. It's right out here. This is our so-called doing. This is everything that we do day to day, or used to do before COVID. We don't do it the same way. Just we'll just say that. So this is beta, or yeah, beta mind, beta brain waves. Beta is the conscious mind, and it looks like this. Just basically even kill. So what are we doing here? That's where our willpower is, educated mind, analytical, planning, logic, science, self-esteem, personality, habits, critical thoughts, judgments, and that's our day-to-day tasks. You get up in the morning, you go potty, you take a shower, do what you got to do, wash your face, brush your teeth, comb your hair, eat breakfast, feed the dogs, feed the animals, kiss the kids goodbye, whatever, and you go off to work. So, or that's what you used to do. Now you go to your workstation and boot it up. But yeah, so that's this. This is the beta. This is the beta brainwaves, and it's pretty even here. So this is subconscious mind. This is alpha and theta together. It's a big area. This is the subconscious mind. And if you saw alpha's up here, it comes in, just like baseline, and it gets a little bit crazy because I have lots to do, and then I go back, but it's not as smooth here, but I'm doing it. But you got to mix these two together. So again, it's mixed here. It's even, then it gets crazy, then it gets even again. So you get a hold of it. So these two are mixed together in this area. And this is subconscious mind. This is where you get silence. This is where you can have a moment for yourself. This is important. So you have insight programmed by thoughts. You get some visualization, intuition. You're stress-free here. There's untapped potential. You can really get creative in here. This is inner space. You feel your life progression. All thoughts, feelings, experiences are mirrored here, and you're not reactive. You just see it and you go, oof, okay, that's how I reacted today. Maybe I need to go back and apologize. Changed your thoughts, you changed your life experiences, and you're always in the now. Every moment's the now. You're not looking back, you're not thinking forward, you're living right here and now. And this is a self-healing place. You're doing all the right things for yourself as far as taking care of yourself. You see yourself as valuable. You see yourself as a service to others, service to God. I've come to represent He who sent me. I am the God that sent me. I represent Him, therefore I am. And I will help those that are around me. I will assist. I will honor nature. I will honor the animal kingdom, the human kingdom, the sky people, the whatever it is. You will honor them with as much benevolence as you possibly can, without, well, I'm always in awe, so, but everybody's different. You will just honor each other, and it's a magnificent place to be in. For the most part, people that are yogis or masters, or people that are there, observers, are usually here, and this is where we stay. We go here sometimes, but most of the times we stay here. And it's not because we want to go here, but we have families, we have responsibilities, we live in the world, and we mostly all stay here, and we go here a lot, but we live here. So let me get here. So this is the unconscious mind. This is delta. This is the nirvana of meditation. This is the unconscious mind. It's the still point. Now, there's a difference between the still point and the God particle. The still mind, your higher self, your Elohim. Spiritual consciousness, cellular memory, body system augmentation, the truth of who you are, access to cosmic consciousness, driving the dream state. You're the dreaming. You realize that you were dreaming all along, and this is who you are. You've returned to the one, by the one, in the one. You've always been walking around. We're all walking around inside the heart of God. That's lovely. You've reached the still point. The God particle awaits you. Remember, you can attain it, but you cannot sustain it. It's ever expanding, therefore, so too must you. So this is ever expanding, ever growing. It's just a pulsation that's in constant growth. Now, every time I do that, I feel the energy. It's in a constant growth. Therefore, once you get there, in order for you to sustain here, you have to grow as infinitely as the God particle. And I think that's marvelous, but I don't know. We're not the God particle. We're a part of it, but we are it. Anyway, we come out of it and then we go back into it. We come out of it and we go back into it. And this is the game we played. Now we can come out of it and create our own universe and another universe. And, you know, a piece of our soul goes off and creates things. We can do that because we've achieved this, which is exceptional. It's like, there's not even a word for it. It's beyond exceptional. But this is the mind. This is a meditative mind. It's enormous. If you reach gamma, you're in light body, a God particle. You've returned to the source in 0 point, and it's moment that you're there, and then you're out. But it consists of all of this. That's why I call it the still point. And then the 0 point pushes you out in here. And you come in here and you spend some time there, boom, you go out. So it's an incredible experience. Here, better move this. Wait, oh, Marie's waiting, admit. Okay, so now from there, as we talked about the conditioned mind patterns and the different types of frequencies that we go through, someone asked, I think it was last week, maybe it was Carla, she said, what are the megahertz of sound that, you know, we feel good about? So I went ahead and did some research on that. So 432 hertz is healing throughout our history. Dating back a couple of centuries, there is a fair evidence of instruments being tuned to 432 hertz frequency. The Stradivarius violins, which were built throughout the late 17th and early 18th centuries, were tuned at 432 hertz and renowned for their superior construction and sound. Using a cog tuner research, Jamie Butureff looked into the recording of Tibetan singing bowls and found that they were tuned to 432 hertz. The purpose of this is undoubtedly to promote the meditative state and subsequent healing that happens when you're in meditation. Additionally, and according to international researchers, a musician Ananda Bosman, and the majority of the instruments unearthed from ancient Egypt and the Greek sites, they were all tuned to A equals 432 hertz. So indeed, sacred sites all over the world are coded with the geometry number of 432. Most theories center on, okay, so 432. Now, in 1953, Fantasia from the Disney Corporation changed the sound to 440 hertz for the movie. And everybody loved it. And it became the standard to date. Now I'm going to get back to this one. Most theories center on the belief that 440 frequency was deliberately adopted by the government and others as a way to manipulate and control masses. Over time, it's said to make people lethargic and borderline depressed and therefore easily influenced. So in 1953, it became a standard. So I think, Carla, if that was your question, I looked for this and I found it and I thought I'd put it in here today. Earth vibration, 432 hertz. So yeah, there you have it. It helps us to feel good about ourselves. It's the perfect frequency for us to feel good and to learn things. So the next one is vibrational sound, and it's aligned with not only your chakras, but with the universe and the sound in the universe. So I have ascension attunements here. Here are the chakras over here in the colors, and they align with the lights that they have here and the chakra colors that go up. So they are red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. And that's the root, the sacral, the solar plexus, the heart, the throat, and the brow and the crown, all the way up here. Now those align with tone, and it's C, D, E. So we're going from the root, C, D, E, F, G, A, B. So the way that I remember them when I was going through the tone healing is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, my heart center, because I couldn't remember C, D, E, F, G, A, B. So it didn't flow with me. So I'd start at the third eye, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. That's what I did. But even then, I just thought I'm going to do red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. And it raises your vibration. Or you can use the vowels. Ha, oo, go, father, e, say, me. And ah, ooh, oh, ah, I, e. So in sound vibration, you can use the colors, you could use the tone, or you could use the vowel. Sometimes in traffic, because I worked in the Bay Area, and then I moved out of the Bay Area for years and years. When it was fields, I worked here, I worked in the Bay Area, and I would commute 237 to Mountain View or to Palo Alto. And I would be going red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, or I would say white at my crown center, or I always did the colors. I wouldn't say a root, sacral, solar, heart, throat, brow, crown. I never did that. I would always say the colors: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. And that's what I did again and again and again and again, every single day. And it lifted my vibration. Or you could do the vowels or the toning. It's an ascension, attunement, but it's beautiful. If you could see auras, you would see someone's aura after they did that in those colors, because it would automatically align. Okay, so sound is the way of healing in the now times. Sound healing. The entire universe, including humanity, resonates through the rippling power of rhythmic vibration. Light, sound, and color are the energies of creation. As our Creator breathed out the sacred breath of creation, it sent forth waves of light, sound, and color that have reverberated throughout all creation from the beginning of cosmic day. As you make the vowel sounds, they will resonate throughout your etheric chakra system, balancing, harmonizing, strengthening the chakras. As you absorb more and more divine light substance, so it's like a light, it turns them on. This assists you to move through the transforming, mutating process with ease and grace rather than through it with pain and suffering. And as you're doing that, healing is taking place. If you have blockages in your body, emotional blockages turn into pain and suffering. So it will push them out, the colors, the tone. These powerful sounds have a rippling effect throughout your 4 body systems, helping you to release impacted thought forms or negative energies that may be causing you blockages or imbalances. So the 4 body systems are your physical, mental, spiritual, and ethereal bodies. So the human body frequencies are 62 to 72 megahertz. When the frequencies drop, the immune system is compromised and illness is possible. So here are some examples. 58 megahertz, you can get a cold or flu symptoms. So right now, people who have COVID, it's a flu, a bad one, really bad. Their megahertz went down to about 50, 56 to 58. That's where their vibration is. If you do some toning on them, it will more likely go up beyond 72. Excuse me. 55 megahertz, disease like candida take hold. 53, Epstein-Barr or fibromyalgia. 42, cancer may develop or other terminal disorders. So this guy's listening to really cool music, and this lady has some blockages. She looks a little bit angry. So which would you rather be? So vibrational sound, just by doing the frequencies here, any one of them, you're going to increase your energy centers throughout your body. Whatever you're blocking in here, it's going to try and push them out. So try it. It might work. Well, it works, but I mean, it's not going to be instantaneous. All right, so here are the 4 elements that make up humanity. This is kind of like spinning in the universe. This is a unified field of 0 point. It's in between everything. So if this was a spiral and spinning, in between the spirals, the magnetic resonance, the hard stuff, is the unified 0 point. It's all around us. So that, I didn't do a good job, but that's what I was trying to do here. 4 elements that make up humanity. So we have the platonic solids. This is crystalline. This is silica in our brain. When the brain, or the reticular formation that I talked about, the crystalline grid of creation, otherwise known as the 5 geometries, triangle, square, hexagon, octagon, and tetrahedron. So that's platonic solids. The building blocks of matter. This is carbon-based, which is also our dust particle. Our magnetic resonance density that anchors us to the earth, our biochemical balance of our biology. 3, this is the dust particles as well. This is majority, but they're in the matter. Photon light frequencies. This sustains our DNA structure. Cosmic dust comes in many forms: dark matter, dark energy, gamma ray bursts, supernovas, distant objects, and asteroids. Humanity dust particle comes from the gamma ray burst, known as cosmic dust or God particle. Knowledge and emotion link into our DNA structure. That's 3 dust particles. And then there's 4. That's the unified field of 0 point. The gamma ray burst is either a wave or a particle within quantum physics, a pulsation of creation expanding and contracting upon itself. Wave is the no thing, and an initial particle from the wave is creation, or otherwise known as the God particle, cosmic dust. Now, it can go right by you, or it can stick to you. It depends. It has a choice point. So it's good for you to know. Last week I talked about this, got some comments back saying, can you reiterate that? Can you share with us again what those are? Platonic solids, building blocks of matter, dust particles, and the unified field of zero. Okay, so the ratio of love, the energy, this is energy in motion. Emotion is energy in motion, and we are emotional beings. The golden mean particle is the ratio of love. The ideal aesthetic form is the golden mean particle. The golden mean particle is humanity's particle of dust that separates us from all other sentient beings. The gold dust, the dust of creation, initiates the sea of crystal, which is in all dimensions of the Milky Way. So the gold dust initiates the sea of crystal, which is our Milky Way. This particle unifies at 0 point, a wave of frequency, energy in motion, when released from the macro becomes the micro particle information. So the macro is the source of God, and the macro is us, a spark from that source. Our cosmic dust particle is encoded with photon-like light frequencies, sustaining our DNA structure, and contribute significantly to components of our astrophysical biology. These cosmic dust particles evolve cyclically, chemically, physically, and dynamically inside of us and outside of us, in alignment with the Mother Earth and the cosmos. In other words, we are all shifting simultaneously as one. The cosmos, the Milky Way, Mother Earth, we're all in alignment, just swirling magically. It just is fantastic. What shifts our DNA is the awakening of the dust particles within our embodiments. It is governed by the law of love, truth, and grace. The golden mean spiral represents the Christ consciousness grid of the humanity that was destroyed 1400 years ago. This event caused future generations to perceive reality through a low consciousness, thus creating fear and chaos, guided by the Luciferian principle. So the golden mean spiral represents Christ consciousness, the grid of humanity. Fear and chaos were brought to this planet through the Luciferian principle. And the reptilians have done a great job at keeping it here. But fear is the absence of love. And where there is love, there is light. So they will not, they do not exist unless you give them power. And the way that the reptilians stay afloat is they feed off of the negative energies. So I always say to myself, I refuse to feed them. When I feel like I'm getting angry or frustrated, I say to myself, I refuse to feed them. And I go back to my light side, my right side, my good side, and I won't feed them. I will not feed them. I refuse to feed them. So the ratio of love. On the third dimension, the grid looks like two spirals. I'm going to get some notes here. On the third dimension, the grids look like two spirals. If you connect the dots of all the spiral moments in our planet, we could link the beginning of the spirals to Egypt. On the fourth dimension, the grid resembles a combination of two platonic solids. The dodecahedron and the isohedrodron, I hope I pronounced that right, maybe not. The golden mean spiral can be found in all organic structures, which ensure symmetry with that pi. So we're talking about pi. And this is the dodecahedron. Here it is. I have them all of the different shapes, but I wanted to show you that. Isn't that cool? I hope you can see that. Anyway, and this is the isohedron. Oh, yeah, this is the isohedron. And it's got all, this represents water, and this one represents the universe. Gosh, I hope you can see these. I can't see myself. I only see the slide set. Okay, so organic structures of human bones to the seed pattern of sunflowers to spiral of shells, all sorts of things. Now look, this is the sunflower, this is shells, our Milky Way, different structures. The pi portion is there, underlying all biological structure, which is a geometrical blueprint for life itself, including nature and science. So I'm just showing you over here, even a wave has the structure of pi. Everything. Look at that. It's just inside of our lungs. It's amazing. Pi is a constant value with no arithmetical solution. The decimal just keeps on going into infinity without any ever repeating itself. So this is the pi calculation, 1.6180339. It's amazing. It's infinite, just keeps on going. So over here is the eternal flowing process. This is pi. So right here in the center, we have infinity right there. Infinity. And the fin is PHI, the pi here. And then out here is infinity. You got the two coming together from the bottom up, as above, so below. And then over here, this is a top view of what's happening up here. It's a spiral, just keeps going. And then you have the numbers here that keep going. And this is the series of 3, 6, 9. 3 is creation, 6 is change, and 9 is recreation. Just keeps on going. Creation, change, recreation, 3, 6, 9. Boom. So this is the ratio of love. This pi, this infinity, this is the beginning of life. It just keeps on spinning. Here we go. And then we've come full circle. And we've come full circle now, a time for renewal, understanding our body, our blueprints, our DNA, our 7 seals, and the frequencies that are available to us in various forms. computers and technology were built from our very own blueprint and used against us. The weaker minds, brain thoughts, or conditioned mind thoughts are still waiting. So the weaker mind people are still waiting in their time and readiness for them to awaken. And we must respect their timeline. The war within is awakening to your soulful self, sometimes referred to as your I am presence. The final battle or war, as they say, is the war of separation, the empty space within all humanity that seeks to clearly fill this space. Many cosmic shifts have taken place in the past year and are continuing this year, and a new energy has been birthed. It's called catalyst. Certainly not a new word, but a cosmic vortex of energy that spins our human vibration into a greater awakening and awareness of ourselves. If you don't go in, you go without. We must go into our soulful selves so that we can be still, be aware, to hold the energy of the now moment for others, to hold the truth for others until they can hold the truth for themselves or can remember the truth for themselves. If we are not awakened, aware, balanced, we will not be able to pull this off. And that's just my opinion. We will be infiltrated by the shadow, by the dark, by the cabal, because you're not grounded. When I am done taking my shower, I put grounding oil on me. I use grounding because I want to stay grounded in my light, because they can sweet talk you and they can promise you things, or they can fear base you. You want to be grounded. If you are solid in your commitment to yourself and to your God, and knowing who you are, in your Buddha self, in your Christ light, whatever you want to call it, they cannot infiltrate you. I'm just saying that. It's important. We're awakening to a renewed understanding of a global renaissance, where it is promised that the children of light can have it all. Knowledge is not the same as wisdom. Knowledge is theory, whereas wisdom is taking action. It's an actual experience. The journey for humanity is to become unified. The great deceiver is our brain, where conditioned mind patterns hold us hostage in a state of illusion. The veil is awaiting our allowance to be lifted. That's lifted to truth. Our bodies are sacred temples and are completely linked to the planetary grid. We are all part of the Rainbow Round Table. The Rainbow Round Table are groups of angelic humans assembled in the 4 evolutionary rounds who are commissioned to run the rainbow ray, or the Kundari, the primal sound current for the 15-dimensional time matrix, into Earth's planetary shield. They are here and they are waiting. And all we need is 144,000 across the globe that are awakened, for them to ring that bell and for us to be unified. And like a golden strand, we're connected. They can't harm us. So there you have it. Next week, what did I say we're going to talk about? Let's see if I still have that. Let's see. Next week, we're going to talk about the 7 rays of creation and the prophecy of union. So I will leave it at that. And those of you that don't want to stay for the Q&A, then you're welcome to leave. And I thank you very much for spending this time with us.
We are all staying.
Okay, so who has questions? Or let me turn this off first. Remote. Okay, more. Stop recording. Okay. Do you want? Yeah.